Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back. This week we're going to be continuing our lesson on visual metaphors, and we are going to take the metaphors that we researched last week and turn them into visual metaphors this week. We will begin this week's lesson by getting our creative juices flowing. You will take the metaphor you found or created last week and turn it into a visual metaphor. Our objective this week is to design a visual metaphor based on an existing metaphor or one that you have created. Now it's time to expand our minds. How many ways can you say the same thing visually? Take a look. Here's the visual metaphor. Think outside the box. 8 different ways by 8 different artists. Notice the visual metaphor should make sense with or without an explanation. The visuals need to be recognizable and relatable to the viewer for the visual metaphor to be effective. All of these are good examples of the same metaphor created by different artists. Last week, I selected the metaphor, "The world is your oyster," meaning you can achieve anything you wish in life or go anywhere because you have the opportunity to do so. When you choose your imagery, we talked about different ways to choose things. Make sure that you have chosen 3 to 5 reference images to include for your design. Last week I chose the oyster shell with a pearl, the world, and the person with his arms outstretched. These images are great images and they work for my visual metaphor. However, once I actually began creating my visual metaphor, I found that I went back and searched for different images as I needed them as I continued on with my project. You may find that the images you chose last week are perfect for your project, or as you decide how to create your project this week, you may decide to search for different images. The project itself this week, what exactly do you need to do? First, combine your images in a way that demonstrates or explains the meaning of the metaphor. It should visually explain the meaning. You should not need to put the actual written metaphor in your imagery. The imagery should be strong enough to stand on its own. And this week you will choose your medium, whether you're creating a drawing, a painting, or something digital. You can use Canva or Pixlr like we've used in the past. You're going to decide how your imagery is created. First, you're going to decide drawing versus digital, and then you can choose your medium, of course. These are 2 examples that I created. These are my end products for my visual metaphor for "The world is your oyster." I'm going to go through the process and explain how I came up with these visual images. But first, we need to talk about plagiarism. Beware of plagiarism. What exactly do we mean when we mention the word plagiarism? Plagiarism is submitting someone else's work as your own and is illegal. For example, here's a Google image that I searched when I looked for "The world is your oyster." I cannot take that image and submit it as my own image by itself. That's illegal and immoral, really. But it is illegal and you cannot submit somebody else's work as your own. How does a teacher know if you do this? Well, literally, there is something called a reverse image search. We can literally take an image, take a screenshot of that image, and look it up to find out if another artist has created that image before. Instead, you can collect a variety of images, multiple images combined together to create a new image of your own creation. So here for my example, I found a beach picture, a picture of the earth, a picture of a oyster shell with a pearl, and an outstretched hand. I took those, combined them together to create a new visual image using Pixlr, and now the outstretched hand is reaching out with the oyster shell, with the earth sitting as an example of the pearl, and the background is the ocean picture that I found. This is a perfectly acceptable image to present as an image that you created. You're taking multiple images from other resources and putting them together to create a new visual image. For my other image, I found this image on the internet. I loved this image. I loved the softness of the shell. I liked the way the earth was placed center stage at the edge of the shell. So I took that image and I came up with my own idea of how to represent that using a drawing and colored pencils. I found a shell that was similar to this one as a reference. I drew an earth from my own reference point and then made sure that my earth was at a different angle. I added color and texture changes and changed the background of my image to something different. And here is my colored pencil drawing completed. Due this Friday, May 29th, we are looking for your completed visual metaphor, photographed and turned into the classroom for credit. As you work through solving your visual metaphor problem, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Miss Brewster if you need any help. We're here to help you. Pop in and visit us on our office hour from 12 to 1 o'clock. The code is Art Every Day, and don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.